because now that we got all that rain, the ground's soft, and pigs that haven't rooted the whole time I've had them have gone haywire. Good morning, guys, and welcome back. It's a pretty foggy day this morning, yeah, I don't know what all we're gonna get done today, but yet again, since some of the storms have come through, some plans are changing. I've got some stuff I just need to get caught up on. Motivation has been a little bit hard to come by the last little bit, but we're gonna see what we can get done today. It's gonna be a little bit of an abbreviated day, so I got a field trip with my daughter to go on, but I'll be back this afternoon to hopefully finish up whatever we get started this morning. Good morning, little lady. Good morning, ladies. The most notable thing I want to talk to you guys about is, yet again, changing plans. And honestly, I just don't have a good answer for it. The way, the economy things are going, and the fact that I've got extra work now to do. The plans that I've laid out for you guys several times this year, they're just not holding water at this point. And even though I just recently said, well, here's what we're going to try to do, obviously that's still the goal, but the reality is I just don't think I'm going to get to a lot of it. So I'm going to not keep making plans, but I am going to still keep trying to tell you what I hope to accomplish, and maybe luck will be on our side for a change. But I've still got to flip up that chicken coop. It's still upside down, and I've still got to do some repairs on the greenhouse, but I still got to finish the greenhouse, and I just don't know how much of it I'm gonna get finished this fall. I wanted to set up more flower beds, but again, I just don't know if I'm gonna get to it, because the ones I really want, they're a little bit expensive, and now's just not the best time to spend the money. The way Helene is sort of decimated the southeast, farmer economy, things could get a little nasty, a little dicey for a little bit, and I don't want to expense that cash and be in a pinch later. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get stuff done. I just got to find the motivation to go get it done, despite being busy, which is always my excuse. So we're gonna start today, and so we finally got all that rain, which is great. The downside is, and I'll show you when we go back there, the pigs have wreaked havoc on the area around that oak tree, and we're talking about Molly and her piglets. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get them moved yet again, and that way they don't wreck the field, because now that we got all that rain, the ground's soft, and pigs that haven't rooted the whole time I've had them have gone haywire. So I've got a tree back there with a bunch of hickory nuts that have fallen on the ground, and so we're going to put them around that tree, because they really, really like those hickory nuts. Doing this stuff with one hand's kind of tough. Just saying. morning, pigs. Good morning, Molly. Good morning, little pigs. So for what it's worth, I expect some turning of the ground, but they're starting to very quickly, and it's really just been a matter of days. Turn up big craters, which, you know, they are pigs, but this is not a part of the property where I want a whole bunch of craterous holes. Let's see if you can really see. This is what they're doing down here. So this won't be too hard to drag out and fix, but it's going to take effort. And the last thing I need is more stuff to do. Look at that. That one's pretty good too. So my assumption is they're rooting for grubs or something in here that they've found. There's something in here they like. And now that the ground's wet, it's soft enough for them to really turn it. You know, so earlier I mentioned finances being one of the reasons why we're kind of not going to change too awful much this year. Part of that's because we just had to do a little bit of an unexpected eye surgery for our smallest dog, Nala. And that was several $100s, and that's assuming there's no complications. So that was some money not really expected to be spent, which we're blessed to not have to stress that too much. But again, any kind of unexpected finance changes can be a little stressful. I'm just being honest. So, and the other thing that I honestly meant to talk to you guys about, and I completely forgot, is back a couple weeks ago when Henry kept getting out after we moved the piglets and Molly up here. I was really worried, and there's still the risk that it already happened, but I was really worried that Henry was going to get in here and, well, get Molly pregnant. And so he kept getting out, and I thought, well, maybe it's the ground's too dry or whatever. And I made that video talking about us trying to keep them in. Well, the good news is it was successful, and they're still in just over the hill. But I sort of hit the nuclear option because I wasn't sure what else to try. And we actually bought a couple of rolls of Premier I QuickFence, which is, you know, it's a little more substantial to it. Obviously, they could just still push through it if it's not hot, just like they can the wire. But he's been staying in with just the wire, so this has been sitting in the garage for a couple of weeks. But since we're going to move Molly and the piglets, and I'm going to end up moving them within eyesight again, which is risky, I'm going to put them inside this net, and if it doesn't, it won't keep Henry in his area, but it'll definitely keep him out of theirs, because we also bought a much better solar charger. Petey and Jack are having a little tussle up there. Anyways, the QuickFence is actually something I've been wanting to test for a while, but again, I just really wasn't planning on spending the money. And if you've bought any of their stuff, it's fantastic stuff, but it's not on the cheap side. So this was an unexpected expense, and that was an unexpected expense with the dog. So those are a couple of the reasons why we're just going to take it easy on some of the infrastructure stuff that we wanted to do this year. But again, we're going to keep moving. And I have somebody that's shown up looking for some attention. Good morning, Lucille. guys. I got you guys. So some of my issue has been, I'm gonna say that I've been, again, busy. Work's been extra busy, so I've done a lot of kind of extra with that. But the reality is I've just simply been a little bit lazy. And like I said earlier, a little unmotivated. This area right here is where Henry and the older pigs were. And it's well eaten, but all those windstorms blew all the hickory nuts off of that tree, and there's a couple of smaller ones around too. There's actually another real big one back here behind this pine tree. But I've got a couple of hickory trees in this area, and the pigs didn't really get all these nuts before because they weren't dropped, and the wind took it down. So we're gonna move them kind of up here into this area and stretch them down through the woods to the persimmon tree, which is also dropping a lot right now. And it's just a lot of extra free food on the farm, and I would be, in my opinion, irresponsible not to take advantage of that. And just picking all this stuff up by hand is not really, it's not realistic. I just don't have the time for it. So I've done it a little bit, but that's part of the goal here. She is just desperate for attention, aren't you, Lucille? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Proof that I've been kind of neglecting things back here. Including you, I'm sorry. But something else you'll notice is I haven't even picked up the fence posts or that reel. So I've got a bunch of fence posts to still pick up. And then we're gonna see, I bought 150 feet of the pig net, and I don't believe it's gonna encompass all of what I want to encompass. So I don't know, we gotta kind of see what our options are here. Earlier, I think I said I had 150 feet. I have 300 feet. I bought those in 100-foot rolls, not 50. So I don't know what I was thinking. Like 150 feet ain't gonna be anywhere near enough. But I do have my yard reel, that's what I call it, the big long tape measure. And so I'm gonna actually just kind of measure out with that when I get ready and see if I'm gonna have enough, and maybe shorten the area up a little bit if I have to. want to point out that some of that haziness that you guys are seeing, it ain't all fog. Because here in the south, it's tobacco season. And if you're not familiar with what I mean by tobacco season, is we're smoked tobacco in this time of the year. And every barn around looks like it's on fire just about. It's not, it's just smoking tobacco. But that's what a lot of people who don't know think's happening. In fact, a lot of times the local municipalities will put out PSAs for all the people that have kind of immigrated here to say, like, this is normal. Don't call us, it's not on fire. You know, even though I've never smoked, not a single thing, not a one time in my life, the smell of tobacco smoking this time of year, I figure we'll come up here and say good morning to the chickens. That would be Petey. Those of you guys that have been around for a minute, this is that meat bird that was doing poorly. It's been one of Murray's big red broilers, and while she still has that issue with her crop, she got fat. Didn't you? You got fat. Since we haven't talked to him much lately, there's Jack. He's a pretty rooster. He hadn't really stood up to Petey yet, but there he is. Good morning. That was really rude, buddy. Good morning, ladies. Speaking of being lazy, I've had this chicken net open for weeks and weeks to let the chickens out, to be able to kind of come and go where they want, and I still haven't taken it down. So I need to do that. Maybe I'll do that today. We'll see. So I'm not gonna get a whole lot else done this morning. I gotta go get ready and meet my dude. Take a rest, man. This is why we can't get any film up here. He's about to go again. You gonna prove me wrong? There it is, a little late. Anyways, gotta meet my kids' class at their field trip, so I'll see you guys when I get back. It'll be a little bit warmer too. We're on our first kind of cool spring, or rather fall day. It feels good out. It feels nice. I'm ready for it. All right, you win. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, I made it back. My daughter's field trip, that was fantastic. We went to Cheney's Dairy Barn, which is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They seem like a wonderful group of people up there. And if you're anywhere in the area, you should go give them a visit. They've got really good milk. And they got farm tours that show you all of their sort of their process. So you guys should definitely go check them out. And they didn't pay me to say that. I just think they were great. All right, so I'll be honest with you guys. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but one of the things that, you know, for the sake of trying to put plans together, and I said, you know, we don't want to spend a lot of money. We've got several things that we can do that aren't going to require any additional money that I've just been putting off and kicking the can down the road. So I mentioned a long time ago over here putting a fire pit where the pool was. Maybe that's going to take a little bit of money, but I still need to get that deck tore down, so maybe that's a project. Of course, the greenhouse, which I know I already talked about. I still got to get the floor in it, and then it can be more or less finished, with the exception of trying to do the solar stuff, which I might actually use down at the barn over the winter, just so that I have some electricity for like the water defrosters. So maybe we do that instead, at least temporary. Water collection, the gutters, I don't know. I've talked about it before, guys. There's always stuff to do. It's too much stuff to do. But I'm ranting, so we're gonna get down here, see if I can't get the fence area mapped out that I want to put the pigs in. And I doubt I moved them, because the last time I moved them by myself, that was a colossal mistake, and I got so upset with them. So we're gonna just not do that. One thing I almost forgot in trying to get this stuff prepared is the path that I used to take around the wooded area here. One of these trees fell out when we had the storm damage last week. So, see, it's laying in my way. I might can just run my fence around it, but I'm not sure yet. I'd have to run my fence through the woods, which isn't really ideal, or around down there. Either way, we'll figure it out. Sorry, I'm a bad cameraman, guys. Let's walk around. See, this is a big chunk of what happened last year when we got those like 70-mile-an-hour winds. And this is that big cedar tree mostly that fell down. And then this was already rotting out. This is an old, I think it's an oak tree. Walk around here and find out. Downside of running the fence around that is I gotta run through all that mess. Oh yeah, that was bad rotted. Take a look at this. I guess that was kind of due to come down. And what I'm really wanting to do is bring the fence down here, which encompasses part of where Henry and the older ones were. But the main reason for that is because right down here is a group of persimmon trees. And look. Pigs would love that. And the deer would too, except Lucille don't have none of that. So the only other thing is if I do this, that means I gotta run fence through the woods. And the last time I went through the woods with fence, I got into poison oak that tore me up last year. Oh, Lucille finally found out we're out here again. Hello. What's up? Oh, you're gonna knock me over, girl. Hey. Maybe we can get through here. Looks like this is one of Lucille's paths, so maybe we can bring our fence right up through here. Down in there, I think, where all the poison oak was. Lucille, oh no, ma'am. Alright, well, whatever I do, I'm gonna go ahead and start running some fence and just see what we get. Because how much fence I got is going to be more of a determining factor than anything. I don't know if 300 feet of fence will do this. Okay, so, oh, the sun just went away. I decided what I'm going to do is just the very top of that tree. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Not be lazy, too lazy. I think that'll be the best thing. That'll save me probably like, I don't know, 50, 60 foot of fence. So we're gonna go ahead and run what we got, make sure that's gonna be enough. I don't know, I'm just jabbering at this point. I'm sorry, guys. All right, this is one roll. Unpackage this. You get some extra repair materials. Please leave that alone. An electric fence warning, which I should use probably, but I haven't. And then one roll, 100-foot roll of the QuickFence is not heavy. So, and now as the ground's wet, it'll be a lot easier to drive these in. Watch out, Lucille. Alrighty. It also comes with instructions on how to hook these up if you've never used them. We're using several for the chicken already, so it's pretty much the same thing. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You guys watch out for me because I hear walnuts falling from these trees. I gotta walk right by them, so. Or, well, they're hickory nuts, but either way, they're still gonna hurt. So, keep an eye out for me. Usually these are really easy to roll out. I just kind of dropped it and messed it up. So do it the other way. I messed up and got those all tangled, but I promise you they're way easier than it looks. Guys, I ain't gonna lie, setting up 2 out of the 3 took me like 10 minutes, including unwrapping them. So, you know, I've been doing pretty good with just the step-in posts like these and, you know, a reel of just poly wire. But that's pretty easy. Now, I've been doing it again with the chickens. I haven't been migrating them around this summer like I did last summer. It's just been a little too much. So I've just gotten Lucille to where she's pretty good around them. Limited issues. I have had a few, but that way I just kind of let them free range and I don't have to stress it as much. Yeah, I'm impressed with these so far. If they weren't so expensive, I'd have a whole lot more, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if you can afford to splurge for these, like, it's definitely worth it. All right, so I've got to go get my Sawzall so I can cut this, or I might just see if I can get the chainsaw to run. It gives me trouble sometimes. And see if I've got enough to run. I don't have enough to reach all the way around the persimmon tree, and I thought about, you know, trying to make some poly wire work, but I'm just going for easy this time as I'm trying to get myself mentally back on track. So we're gonna go with easy this time. Today started off cool, but summer just won't quite let go. We're back in the 80s already. But we're almost there. Don't want to wish away a season, but I'm ready for it to cool off. Before I call it a day though, I'm gonna come over here and show you guys kind of the net. I'm telling you, this thing was super easy to set up. Had the whole thing done in half an hour, and that's having not set this particular kind up before and then packaging it and all that, which I think I've already said all that. But it stays just off the ground, which is nice. That's better than the chicken wire, because the chicken wire touches the ground, which it kind of has to. And I had to kind of restake it a few times to navigate it through the woods so that I wouldn't have it laying on some of these saplings that are coming up. So look at all these hickory nuts from that guy. Well, that's one of them. This one and the one out there. And yeah, I'll have a nice little shaded area, hang out in for a little bit longer. And like we started the video, sorry for all the promises of things we're going to try to get to that I'm coming to the realization are broken promises at this point. And you know, it is what it is. I'm not like too upset about it, but I do hate that, you know, I've tried to set expectations and, you know, it's just really hard to do sometimes. But you know, we're gonna get this thing done. And yeah, one step at a time. Just sometimes like to slow down and just kind of take it all in, good, bad, and ugly. But hey, I appreciate the support. Thank you to those that reached out and, you know, checked on us after all the storms. And you know, if you haven't seen, we're fine. There was a little bit of damage, but no big deal. Nothing compared to what a lot of others have gone through. So, you know, just keep an eye out for them. Extend a helping hand to those in East Tennessee and North Carolina if you can. And just keep them in your prayers. They need it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to support us. There's hickory nuts falling behind me. I don't want to get hit in the head. Yeah, you guys have a blessed week, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.